Scary Tinder story. Michael was 28 and single. He started using Tinder and met Casey. She lived about 5 minutes away. After only a couple of hours of texting, they decide to meet up. She gives him her address and he leaves. When Michael pulls up, she has a toddler on her hip. He notices 5 huge trash bags, 3 boxes, and 2 backpacks. He got out the car and said, "What's going on?" She said, "Will you give me a ride to my mom's house?" Michael didn't want to be rude, so he agreed. While they were loading her stuff up in his car, a man came out of the house. He threw 2 bags on the ground. He said, "She's your problem now, bruh. Get her off my property. The law is already on their way." So they jump in the car and leave. She said, "I'm really sorry I lied to you, but I had to get away from my abuser. And I don't have a car." Michael felt really bad for her, especially because she had this little toddler. He said, "Where's your mom stay?" She said, "I lied about that too. We're basically homeless now. We don't have anywhere to go." Michael decided he couldn't just leave her and a baby on the streets. So he took them back to his house. The first day was actually pretty good. Her and the baby took his bed while he slept on the couch. They spent time getting to know each other. After a couple of days, Michael had to go back to work. He gave Casey a key. Michael tried to call and text her all day while he was at work, never getting any reply. He was kind of scared that she had robbed him and left. But when he got home, she was still there. But the house was a wreck. She hadn't even attempted to clean up behind herself or the baby. There was poopy diapers all over the floor. Cookies and cheese doodles stomped down in the floor. A huge gash in his big screen TV. He finds her asleep in the bed and the baby in the living room watching cartoons. The door isn't even locked. He goes in the bedroom and wakes her up. He said, "You can't leave the baby unattended like this. She could get hurt." He said, "And what happened to the house? It's an absolute wreck." She said, "I'm sorry, I just haven't felt good today." And then she fell back asleep. He takes the baby and goes gets dinner and comes back. When they get back, she's gone. He had put minutes on her cell phone the day before, but she wasn't answering. He texted her saying, "Where are you? You can't leave your baby like this." He cleaned the house up, fed the baby, and eventually he went to bed. He called her the next morning and said, "You have to come home. I have to go to work." She gets dropped off 3 hours later. He almost got fired. When he came home from work, he said, "Look, we need to talk." She said, "I'm not used to having someone be good to me and my child." She said, "I don't have anywhere to go. Please don't kick us out." Michael said, "Casey, you know we were supposed to go on a date. Nothing more. I wasn't getting into this to be a boyfriend and a father. You need to find somewhere to go today." She said, "You can't kick me out. This is my house." He said, "I'll even give you a ride, but you have to go." She said, "I'll call the police and tell them you hit me." He said, "Call the police. I have cameras all over this place. I can prove I did not put my hands on you." She goes back to the bedroom and gets in the bed. She said, "I just want to be with you." He said, "Casey, you have to go. Now." She gets up and grabs her phone. 30 minutes later, he hears a car pull up in the driveway. She tries to sneak out the door. She tries to leave without her child, or any of her stuff. But Michael had bagged it all up. When he heard the car door slam, he ran outside. He said, "I can't believe you would leave your child with a stranger." She left. But this wouldn't be the last time he'd hear from her.